Life is a journey, and let's be honest. Sometimes it feels like we're walking through a storm with no umbrella. Challenges come in all shapes and sizes. A job loss, a broken relationship, a dream that feels out of reach, or even just the weight of everyday stress. But here's the good news. The Bible, God's timeless word, is filled with stories and wisdom that can light our path, even in the darkest moments. Today I'm sharing 5 powerful lessons from Scripture to help you overcome life's difficulties with faith, courage, and hope. So grab a seat, open your heart, and let's dive into these transformative truths that can carry you through any trial. Lesson 1. Trust God's plan even when you can't see it. Let's start with the story of Joseph, a young man whose life seemed to go from bad to worse. Sold into slavery by his own brothers, falsely accused and thrown into prison, Joseph could have given up. Imagine the betrayal, the loneliness, the injustice. Yet through it all, Joseph held on to his faith. Genesis 50:20 tells us his powerful words to his brothers years later. "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." Joseph trusted that God was weaving a bigger story even when he couldn't see the ending. And God did, elevating him to become a leader in Egypt, saving countless lives. When you're facing a setback, it's easy to feel like God's forgotten you. But this lesson reminds us, God's plan is always at work, even in the detours. That job you didn't get? That heartbreak you're nursing? It might just be a chapter, not the whole story. Trust Him. Pray for patience. Lean into His promises and keep moving forward. Romans 8:28 assures us, all things work together for good for those who love God. So hold on, your story isn't over yet. Lesson 2, face your giants with God's strength. Picture this, a young shepherd boy named David, standing before Goliath, a 9-foot giant armed to the teeth. The entire Israelite army was paralyzed with fear, but David, he stepped up with just a sling and 5 stones. Why? Because he knew his strength didn't come from himself. In 1 Samuel 17:45, David declares, "I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." With 1 stone, he brought the giant down, proving that with God, no obstacle is too big. We all have giants in our lives: fear, addiction, failure, or maybe a dream that feels impossible. This lesson teaches us to face them with faith, not fear. You don't need to be the strongest or the smartest. You just need to rely on God's power. Philippians 4:13 says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." So what's your Goliath? Name it, pray over it, and trust that God's strength is enough to bring it down. Take that first step, even if it's small, and watch God move. Lesson 3, find rest in God during the storm. Let's talk about Jesus and his disciples on a boat in the middle of a raging storm. Waves crashing, wind howling, and the disciples panicking, thinking they're about to drown. Meanwhile, Jesus is asleep. Asleep. When they wake him, he calmly says to the storm, "Peace, be still," and the sea becomes like glass. Mark 4:39. The disciples are left in awe, realizing that even the winds and waves obey him. This story hits home because life storms can feel overwhelming: financial struggles, health scares, or family drama. But Jesus shows us that peace isn't the absence of the storm. It's the presence of God in the storm. When you're spiraling, take a moment to pray, to breathe, and to rest in Him. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." That's your anchor. So next time chaos hits, don't just focus on the waves. Look to Jesus, the one who calms the storm, and let His peace steady your heart. Lesson 4, persevere with faith like Moses. Moses' journey is one of the most epic in the Bible. Called to lead the Israelites out of slavery, he faced impossible odds. A stubborn Pharaoh, a Red Sea blocking their escape, and a grumbling people who doubted him at every turn. Yet Moses kept going, trusting God's guidance. When the Israelites were trapped between the sea and Pharaoh's army, God told Moses to lift his staff, and the waters parted. Exodus 14:16. Through 40 years in the wilderness, Moses persevered, leaning on God's promises even when the journey felt endless. This lesson is for anyone who feels like giving up. Maybe you're working hard but seeing no progress, or you're praying for a breakthrough that hasn't come. Moses reminds us that faith means pressing on, one step at a time, trusting God's timing. Hebrews 12:1 encourages us to run with perseverance the race marked out for us. So keep praying, keep working, keep believing. Your Red Sea moment is coming, and God will make a way. Lesson 5. Let love and forgiveness heal you. Finally, let's look at the ultimate example, Jesus himself. On the cross, betrayed, mocked, and suffering, he prayed, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Luke 23:34. In the face of unimaginable pain, Jesus chose love and forgiveness, showing us the path to healing. His sacrifice wasn't just about saving us from sin. It was about teaching us how to live free from bitterness and resentment. Holding on to anger or hurt is like carrying a heavy chain. It weighs you down. Whether it's forgiving someone who wronged you or even forgiving yourself, this lesson is a game changer. Colossians 3:13 says, "Forgive as the Lord forgave you." It's not easy, but it's freeing. Start small. Pray for the person who hurt you. Ask God to soften your heart and take it one day at a time. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing the wrong. It means trusting God to handle justice while you walk in peace. Bringing it all together. These 5 lessons, trusting God's plan, facing giants with his strength, finding rest in the storm, persevering with faith, and choosing love and forgiveness, are like a roadmap for navigating life's challenges. The Bible isn't just a book of old stories. It's a living guide, filled with wisdom that speaks to us today. Whatever you're facing, you're not alone. God is with you, just as he was with Joseph, David, Moses, and Jesus. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one of these lessons and apply it this week. Maybe it's trusting God with a situation that feels out of control, or maybe it's forgiving someone who doesn't deserve it. Take a step of faith, pray for strength, and watch how God moves. And if you're feeling inspired, share your story with someone. It might just be the encouragement they need. Let's close with a verse to carry with you. Isaiah 41:10 says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you." That's God's promise to you, today and always. Keep the faith, keep moving forward, and let God light your path through every challenge. You've got this, because he's got you.